Nowadays, who are the money changers? Well, what is silver? What is gold? That is money. When you trade one form of money or currency to another, like cash for gold, gold for silver, silver for cash, you're using a money changer. That's right. Bullion dealers are money changers. I never thought of it in that aspect. Don Harold said that, and I'm like, whoa, never thought of it that way. The bullion dealers are money changers. Jesus threw the money changers out of the temple. Those are the money changers. The bullion dealers are actually money changers. Whenever you do an exchange, they take a skim off the top as part of the fee, and people who hold the money, power corrupts, money corrupts. If you're holding money, that's what I'm talking about, is that reputation for money changers. Now, it doesn't mean they're all bad or evil. I'm just saying, put that in perspective. When you hear news from money changers, bullion dealers, you have to understand that they have an incentive. Everybody has an incentive in life, and the money changers / bullion dealers have their own incentives. So keep that in mind when they give you information.
Hey guys, it is January the 8th, 2013. I hope you've been having a good year so far. This is going to be a bit of a hodgepodge video, but it has some important stuff in it, at least I believe, so I'll try and keep the fluff down to a minimum, but I do want to mention thank you so much to Endless Mountain, who sent me this maple. It's a 2009, very beaten up maple, which adds a lot of character, I think. I think he's shown this in his channel before, and he sent it to me kind of as a token of friendship and to just sort of put something in my stack, because he knows that my stack got pretty low over the past year. 2012 was, I did end up spending a lot of my savings, so he just wanted to help me rebuild a little bit, and I think that's an amazing gesture, and he's a great guy, so thanks so much to Derek, Endless Mountain. And hey, while I'm at it, I got this from a friend. It's a 1/10 ounce. I think it's really cool. It's from the Golden State Mint, and I've in the past dealt with a few 1/4 ounce rounds from these guys that were basically the same design, I believe, and I think I still have one of those somewhere, but this is the 1/10, and I do like fractional silver. I kind of wish that they would make a bit more fractional silver in grams, 5, 10, 20, 50 kind of thing, rather than ounces and things, but I do like fractional silver. Thank you very much to him. And from a viewer, subscriber in Finland, we have this coin. Look down the bottom, the real man's coin. I think that's hilarious. I guess, of course, it's not a coin. They probably should have said round, but that wouldn't have been a cool of a catchphrase, the real man's round. But yeah, this is the real man's coin from a private mint, I believe, in Finland, and it is 999 and 1 full troy ounce. I think you can see there on the right, in the middle, it says 31.1 grams. That is a troy ounce. So that's a cool looking ounce of silver, and I guess that was sort of like a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year sort of gift from this viewer. So thanks so much. I really, really, really appreciate that, and this will be going into my collection for a long time to come. Thanks so much. I found this silver certificate in the random notes box at one of my bullion suppliers. He just has a few notes that he keeps around, and found this in there and got it for a song, basically. I really, really like these silver certificates. I just like the idea that, currency could have something backing it up. It used to. As I explained to my brother, this was the receipt that silver had been deposited. If you read it, it says, "Silver certificate. This certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America $1 in silver." So $1 worth of silver payable to the bearer on demand. So this was the receipt that, well, an ounce of silver, or $1 worth of silver at least, a silver dollar, was in deposit at the Treasury. And so this actually can be redeemed. You can take this in. You can trade it as it is. Trade it as a piece of paper if you want. It's convenient. It's light. Or you can take it and get the real money. And we've lost sight of what notes really are. Now they are the money themselves. Now they are supposedly valuable by decree. But anyhow, I did have the $5 note, the $5 version of this silver certificate, but now I have the $1, so I'm quite happy about that, and that'll go in my note collection. And this is the 100-year chart for silver, adjusted for inflation. So you can see that biggest spike there around 1980 now would be over $100 in today's money. This is using government inflation numbers. I think it would be a lot higher than that if you used the real inflation. But there on the right, you can see the chart kind of squished in on the right. The chart we all know and love, that's the 10-year bull market since we lifted off from $4 or $5 an ounce back in 2004 or 2005, and we've just been moving up and up since then. Except for the last year, we have been down from that top at 50. But this gives you sort of an idea of what silver has done in the past, and interesting to note that we are very, very far below that $100 or more than $100 high of 1980. And as far as I'm aware, the economic concerns we're facing today and the political concerns we're facing today are much graver than they were in the 1980s. The link will be down below for this one. It's a fairly interesting chart. This is the 100-year ratio between the Dow and gold. So it basically tracks the movement of the stock market in general, which is the Dow, sort of a broad stock index, and the price of gold. So as you can see, it comes down to about 1 or 2 a couple of times in the last 100 years, but it's also been as high as 30 or even 40 recently. So at that point, it took 40 ounces of gold to buy 1 unit of the Dow. Who would rather have the Dow than 40 ounces of gold? I don't know, but apparently a lot of people. But it did turn around at that point and is now headed back down. It's actually below 10, or maybe somewhere, let's see, it says 7.5 actually. So we've come from 42 to 7.5. It's come down by a factor of 6. The ratio anyways in the past, let's see, 10 years. This is 2001, I guess, probably when the stock market took a hit in 2001. What is interesting to note to me is how the moves in this are quite pronounced. We have this very obvious up and then down, this very obvious up and then down, another very obvious up and down. This is over 100 years, so these patterns, if someone was watching this over the past 100 years, it would have been fairly easy to trade this ratio, or at least I assume. I mean, this kind of a trend is something you can only really dream of. And down here must have been an interesting time. Oh, I guess that was 1980. Yeah, it was. Okay, so this would have been where gold hit a top, and simultaneously the stock market was at a low. So this really shows you how the stock market and gold fluctuate against each other hugely over the years. Interesting chart. If you're looking to throw up, there's a link down below that will take you to this article about Gabrielle Giffords and her NASA astronaut husband. She was the former U.S. Congresswoman who was shot in the head 2 years ago, and the incident that she was involved in has been used to promote the gun control agenda since then, and now she is organizing a group to continue the efforts and to continue to try to grow the size of government and the power of government and restrict the right of the citizens to own guns. So it's like, hey, I got shot, and now I'm going to try and prevent anyone else from getting shot by taking away guns from the citizens. Of course, the criminals will still have the guns and will still continue to do the things, but we just won't mention that. And a continuation of the fiasco that is the new Port Mann Bridge here in Vancouver. This isn't interesting to a lot of people, so skip ahead a minute or so if you want, but I've been following this story for a while. The Port Mann Bridge is the $3.3 billion bridge that the taxpayer paid for so that we could have a toll bridge in place of a bridge that was just fine in the first place. Now this new bridge, which is being widely shoved down our throats as, quote, the widest bridge in the world, and I believe that is true, but we've had a number of problems with it so far, not to mention the fact that it's cost you $3 every time you want to go across it, and you must use this bridge if you live in the Vancouver area and move around at all. But since then there was an incident of ice bombs. I reported on that. Ice bombs falling off the bridge because it was constructed in such a way that ice accumulates above and just falls down onto you. So within a week of it opening, that occurred, and now we have a 50-car pileup apparently on the bridge because it is prone to extremely slippery bridge deck if the temperature goes down below zero, which it often does here in the winter. This is Canada after all. So now they're talking about having some kind of crew that goes out once an hour and performs a bunch of tests and runs something across the road surface to see how slippery it is and measures the temperature and the stop times and all this kind of stuff once an hour now so that we can continue to use this bridge. And the disturbing part is that it's an American company that built the bridge that made all the money and their signing bonus, or what their bonus for completing the new bridge, is that they get the old bridge. So the old bridge is now going to be dismantled and melted down for this, for a bonus to this company. It's apparently like, I think, $60 million worth of steel or something, high quality steel that was used back in the 60s. So what a fiasco. It's just disgusting. This bridge that we paid for, that is now a toll bridge on us, slowing down the economy, increasing everyone's taxes, essentially. I've racked up over $50 crossing this bridge so far, and I don't know where that's going to come from. That's $50 that I have to take out of my food budget or something. It's a lot of money. And this bridge is not safe. So we've paid a lot of money for the privilege of now paying a toll, and the bridge is less useful and less safe than the previous bridge was. Anyhow, there was a number of injuries the other day in this incident, and some injuries in the previous incident as well, not to mention so far about 200 cars, I believe, that have been destroyed or partially destroyed by this bridge in the 1 month since it has been open. Ay, 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 here's another one to help you throw up if you're looking to do so. Marijuana is too risky a choice. This is from David Frum, apparently a professional opinion giver. Don't really know what his credentials are. I think he worked for George Bush briefly, if that's a credential. But anyhow, you can go ahead and read this if you're interested. It's just amazing what CNN will put out. This has had, I believe, 6,000 comments, or I don't know, I haven't refreshed it since last night. But it's had a lot of comments, so this is an interesting, or at least appears to be interesting to the populace. I like the top comment. Marijuana was legal and considered a safe medicine when it passed the then rigorous requirements of the 1906 Food and Drug Act and was available as a very strong whole plant extract. Oh. Okay. This is not the comment that was here last night. The comment last night was really good, and it had thousands and thousands of uprates, but I'm just wondering what's going on here. Someone should tell CNN this is not China. Stop deleting harmless, critical comments. If you put a crappy, rambling article on your site, then you should expect some criticism. I'd expect this type of behavior from Fox News, but from CNN it is both saddening and worrisome. This is the second anti-marijuana legalization article I've read on the site, and both of them were grasping at straws. Both articles either mitigated or entirely failed to mention the medical benefits of marijuana legalization and blow the possibilities for abuse out of proportion. I know news is supposed to be fair and balanced, but CNN seems to be taking the bias toward fairness principle a little too seriously. Second time this has been deleted. Okay, so apparently CNN is deleting the comments. That's disturbing. Yeah, the comment you speak of had over 3,000 likes on it. CNN and most media are scared of the people because they're owned by corporations, and Americans are starting to wake up to the propaganda they're spewing and questioning everything. Interesting. Yes, agreed. And it's about time. Anyone who claims there isn't bias in the media instantly loses all credibility. Yes. Huh. Okay. So I was going to read you the top comment here, but it has disappeared and been replaced by a different top comment, which I think probably is also good, but oh well. Interesting to note, though. And yeah, I would have a look at this article. It's amazingly, amazingly badly written. The logic in here is non-existent. The guy uses several just stupid, gateway theory, just garbage points that have been debunked so long ago. It's like he has no business writing this article, in fact. And then he goes into a rant about mortgages for some reason for about 3/4 of the article before finally finishing up with one more on-topic paragraph at the end. Yeah, really, his argument is complete garbage. And I really wish that top comment hadn't been, whatever happened to it. But sounds like the commenters here on CNN are noticing that certain comments will just disappear. Kind of scary. I have also a 5-year chart in silver. At the left there is the October 2008 crash, and we've been on the trend line ever since. This same trend line, we lifted off at quite a bit for the top to 50 in 2011, of course, and there's been other times when we've lifted off this trend line. More recently we've lifted off it here for QE3 and twist and all that kind of stuff. But we are still bouncing along this line, and at the moment we are very, very close to it, testing it once again, as we have many times in the past 4 years. But if we do fall below this line, I would be expecting a test of the 26, 27 level at least. But it has held for over 4 years now, and as we are now in 2013, who knows if we're going to continue above this line or not. But one thing I did notice is there is a Dow chart for the 5-year chart that has a very similar look. Of course, we bottomed at the exact same time, and the Dow has been sort of following a trend line upward as well. Each of these moves, as it gets up higher, is basically QE. So this was QE1, QE2, twist, QE3, and the last little uptick there, I guess, is QE4. So it has, taken a lot of stimulus to get us to where we are in the stock market, up to essentially all-time highs. Just under the all-time high, though, so there is no headline saying Dow at all-time high or anything, but we are certainly right under the all-time high. I think the easiest way for you to see these two charts is just for me to include them right after this segment, so I'll just embed them right into the video and flip back and forth a couple of times. Well, I told you it would be a hodgepodge video, but anyhow, before I go, I wanted to go over a few numbers from my own personal experience. The 8% there is how much my internet bill went up this year, January 1st. Got a notice. It didn't have any advance warning, but yep, up 8%. Postage at Canada Post is up 5% this year again. They do that every year. Of course, another branch of the Canadian government will at the same time tell you that inflation is below 1%. But yeah, Canada Post up 5% again. 6%, that's my girlfriend's coffee. She likes to get a Starbucks coffee a couple of times a week. She gets the small black house blend, cheapest you can get. Used to be under $2, now it's over $2. We worked it out, it was a 6% increase. And the 11% is the mandatory car insurance, also known as the driving tax here in British Columbia. It's up 11% for me this year. So these are just things from my life that tell me that my dollars are buying less and less each year. How that relates to things like precious metals, you would expect the precious metals to be going up similarly to other things in life, or perhaps even more, considering what's going on in the world right now. But we don't see that at the moment, so it's just something to think about. And was I just selecting things that are going up and not mentioning things that were going down? No, because there's nothing in my life that has gone down this year. I can't think of anything that's cheaper this year than it was last year. So no, I'm not just selecting things and being biased. These are actually just numbers that have crossed my desk in the last week or two, and I thought I would mention them. But anyhow, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I'll talk to you again soon.